Okay, hey, how's everybody doing? Just for fun, I decided to take a drive up in the canyon. I'm actually in Park City, Utah, and you know, it's a little, it's east of Salt Lake City, probably about 30 miles up Parley's Canyon. And just for the heck of it, you know, I thought I'd show you a little bit about the actor, the adult actor, actually, Harry Reems. Which, interestingly enough, he moved here in 1989 because he was really sick of his lifestyle in Malibu and Los Angeles. He was a Jewish guy from Brooklyn who moved to LA in the early 70s, and he actually, you know, it's kind of funny, he actually started out as a regular actor. You know, he was actually off-Broadway theater actor in New York City for a period of time as well. And he somehow he slipped into the porno industry and started doing loops, what they called loops back in those old days, you know. And I don't know, but he spent most of his career later in the 70s. Of course, he was famous for being in Deep Throat, which he only filmed for like one day or something like that. I just read his wiki page. I don't know a whole heck of a lot about him, but I do know that he became later a very successful real estate agent in Park City. He moved away from Malibu in '89 because apparently he was just to the point where he was just a falling down drunk. He was just a complete alcoholic. He was drinking half a gallon of vodka a day and other things, and I think at one point he actually became homeless. And apparently when he was making money in the 70s and 80s, before that happened, he would actually come out here to Park City and just spend some time. He liked to ski, you know, and he made friends out here, and he moved out here just to get away from the whole LA scene, and you know, I can dig it, man. He became a Christian, born-again Christian, for a time, even though he was Jewish. He became a born-again Christian when he moved here, and then later kind of left the church, but still kind of dedicated his life to serving God and just being more in touch with that part of himself. And you know, as a lot of addicts I think do, you know, I'm just guessing, but I think they get to a point where you need to swing the opposite direction completely, you know, in order to kind of maintain a more healthy lifestyle. It's either that or you die, you know, I think, for a lot of people. But anyway, he was a successful real estate agent, and he worked out of his home, which I'll show you here in a second. It's right up here around the corner. Had a nice place. It's on 13 Claim Jumper Court. And yeah, let's go take a look at that. It's right up around the corner here, right on the edge of a pretty sweet little golf course I'd like to check out. But you know, I'm not real into those $100 green fees, you know. This is not my thing. I don't know. I like the $15 city courses down in Salt Lake. Anyway, this was his place right here. Completely changed. Very different looking. He ran his real estate business out of here, and his wife is actually still alive. He married someone that he met here when he was, you know, coming up here for visits or whatever. And she's still alive. I don't know if she lives here anymore or, you know, what the deal is. And supposedly he's buried in Park City Cemetery, but I'll tell you what, it is impossible to find his grave. I've searched for it twice. He was indeed, well, I should say he did have a viewing at a Park City church. So it makes sense that he is indeed in that cemetery. He may have an unmarked grave, I don't know. But it's my understanding that when he was dying, he was actually living in a town called Midway, which is close to a town named Heber, which is probably about 10-15 miles away from here. So I don't know. You know, it makes sense that if his memorial was at Park City, at one of the churches in Park City, I can't remember which one it was off the top of my head, I can look it up, that he would be buried in that cemetery, but I don't know. He actually died at the VA hospital down in Salt Lake City, and I'll show you where that is too as well. But anyway, there you go. That is Harry Reems. That is where he ran his business for a long time. And there's actually, it's kind of funny, you can actually find website links still that have not been taken down to his business. Yeah, maybe I'll put some of those up, but yeah, 13 Claim Jumper Court in Park City. Hag and Harry Reems. Oh, you know what's kind of interesting about it too is he didn't change his name. Oh yeah, hold that up there, would you? Oh man, now I almost got to go back.
Death hag.
All right.
We're death hags.
Yeah, we're death hags.
We're obsessed with dead people because we have problems.
Because life
We're
is
so bored with real people that we obsess over dead porn stars and serial killers.
It's because they can't talk back, you know. I don't know. What is it, man? What's wrong with us?
What's wrong with you?
No, I don't. You know what? I wish I could see your face. Yeah, put that away. Anyway, what's interesting is he did not change his name. His real name was Harold Streicher, and he did not change his name. And, you know, maybe he was using his celebrity to some degree in order to sell real estate. You know, he was not ashamed of his past, apparently, from interviews. He was absolutely not ashamed of his past. You know, something funny I read about him, too, is that he tried to break into mainstream movies again later on in the 70s and 80s, and actually starred in a few small bit roles. But one of the funniest things, which I wish would have happened, is he was going to be Coach Calhoun on Grease. You remember the guy that, the coach, you know, it was Sid Caesar actually ended up playing that role. But can you imagine if, like, Harry Reems was Coach Calhoun? I think that would have been sweet. But for some reason he didn't get it. It was probably had something to do with his reputation in the porno industry, you know. But anyway, he died in 2013 of pancreatic cancer. And if you know anything about that, you know, that's one of those really nasty forms of cancer, you know. If you're diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, that is pretty much a death sentence. You're gonna die soon, too, quickly. Anyway, Park City, Harry Reems. Okay, we're back down in Salt Lake City, and this is actually the Veterans Hospital. Now, Harry Reems was actually honorably discharged from the Marines. He served in the Marine Corps, and you know, that probably had a lot to do with why he ended up coming here. I'm sure that you know, he was covered here at some point because of his honorable discharge. But this is where he died of pancreatic cancer. The Salt Lake Veterans Hospital. Not sure which building, but this is definitely it. It's quite a big campus.
Well, we're near the university.
Yeah, we're right next to the University of Utah. It's actually right on the edge of it, but not a campus is the wrong word, but yeah, it's Sunday. It's kind of locked up kind of quietly around here, but yeah, this is some of the old building over here. Anyway, just for interest's sake, this is where Harry Reems died in 2013.